Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. You got me and Aaron here with you this morning. Ed's working on a special assignment. He was here this morning, so we'll let him go do his business while we come chat with all the Cuppies this morning. Happy to be with you here. Going to chat about a couple of things this morning.
Yeah, some cool topics you have.
Cool topics. First, we want to show you something kind of wild. Maybe you've seen if you were driving on the 190, there is a freighter ship stuck in the ice on Lake Erie. There it is. This is our live camera that we have here. So this is right now. You're looking live at this ship as the sun starts to come up. It's really a beautiful view of Lake Erie there. You can see it's pretty much ice covered. How much of the lake is now covered in?
80% of the lake is iced over. And, you can see that freighter tried to make its way through the ice and was unsuccessful. So just stuck right there off the Lake Erie shoreline, just past the break wall. So there's that freighter sitting out over Lake Erie. Tuesday, the lake was 40% ice covered. Wednesday, 60%, and now today, 80%. We were below zero yesterday, so obviously the lake did ice over pretty quickly, and now we're up near 80% ice coverage, which is enough ice to, make one of these large freighters, which is more than 600 feet long, stuck in the ice.
Wild. I mean, have you seen this before? Is this something that happens often? I mean, I've only lived here for 5 years.
I don't remember it happening on Lake Erie. It's been since 2015 when the lake has been 100% iced over. These ships, they know the forecast. They navigate this stuff pretty well. But when the ice does form so quickly, I think it caught them obviously off guard because they're stuck there.
Going from 40 to 80 in just a couple of days will do that.
Even in like 2 weeks, it went from 0 to 80. So there was a huge change on Lake Erie. So we, can understand why that happened. But I was coming in this morning and I'm looking like, what is out there? There's like someone having a party on the lake. There's like all these lights out there. And then we did a little research and boom, there it is, a freighter stuck out there.
Anita says the crew is still on it. I mean, we're not really sure. We did talk to the Coast Guard this morning, and they confirmed that it is stuck out there. So we're assuming that, if it's stuck, that there were people on it. There's got to be someone manning the ship. So we're thinking so. We're not exactly sure how many people are on there, exactly, what the ship does. We're trying to figure out the specs and all the details for you.
Yeah, but the lights are definitely on overnight.
Oh, yeah, the lights are on. You can see
the lights are on it. Yeah.
For sure, which is just wild. Howard saying, so the lake froze that fast that it trapped the ship. Not sure how it instant froze.
Well, it was, 5 below zero yesterday. So the ice did form pretty quickly. It, went from 40% on Tuesday to 80% today. So the ice did form very quickly. And that's why we're seeing that ship is stuck. And Sarah said you just passed it. Yeah, you can see it on the 190. I'm sure you see it very clearly up on the Skyway.
Yeah. Oh, so it's down like by the canal side area down there. So if you're coming from the South Towns up to the city for work today, that's what you saw out there. You're probably driving going, what is that out there?
That's exactly what I did, but that was like 3 a.m. Yeah.
MB Moore says, is it here till April now? We gotta,
MB, what I read is that there is a ice cutter coming through from Canada to free them because they're on their way to Canada. But, they have to cut through all the ice. So it does look like they're going to free it, but it will take a little time.
This may be a dumb question. Can't they put it in reverse?
I think Howard just said the same thing. You know what? He would have retreated back to port. I never navigated a 600-foot ship.
I also can't.
So I don't know the answer to that. Probably like a train. It's not easy to just stop and go back.
Right.
I think maybe once you're stuck, you're stuck. So we'll find out later today. I know it's, I don't want to speculate anything because all we can tell you is it's stuck out there right now.
And
if you have someone who knows more about, navigating a freighter, please let us know. But I would assume that once you're stuck, you can't just turn around.
Well, I can only imagine the panic that sets in. I mean, these guys are trained in this kind of thing, so I'm sure they have plans and things in place, and they have communication going on.
Yeah, and they can see the shoreline, and they've been on the ship. They know what they're doing. They're probably just like,
it's more annoying than anything.
Yeah.
But I would be.
Wait, are we the lead of a newscast now? Like really? There's nothing better going on.
No, Weather Daddy's talking about me. He's got the playoff beard. They're probably figuring out. I would be in someone's corner in fetal position, praying to Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, all that. I think I would be.
It's being so close to the shoreline, though. At least you can kind of see it, and I guess that to me would be okay. I can see Buffalo. I'd really like some wings, but now I'm just stuck on this giant ship, and we're waiting.
Now the lake 80% covered. Do you think it will freeze 100% this season?
I do, because it went so quickly the last 2 days.
Mhm.
So we have 20% more to go. Below freezing today, right through Saturday and Sunday. Monday, we might hit 33 degrees, and then another
Frost.
blast of some colder air comes back in. So I don't see, why it would not. And it would be, we've hit 90% plus 2018, 19, and 22, but it's been about 10 years since we actually froze the lake in its entirety, and I do think that will happen.
But it's been like 6 years since we've had air this cold. So
Yeah. It's so February 1st, 2019 was the last time we were below zero, and we were below zero yesterday. Kathy's saying it's snowing in Sanborn. Yep, you have the snow in Sanborn this morning. Up in Niagara County, you have a little light snow that's going to wind down as the morning moves along, but enough just to make it a little bit slick there in Sanborn this morning, Kathy.
this is from Melly. How thick is the ice? Can we walk on it? It's been years since we were able to go out on the break wall.
Well, I know they're ice fishing in the small boat harbor.
Okay.
I wouldn't go past the break wall. When I was younger, there was someone who tried to walk across the ice and fell through. Yeah, so I always remember that. I think it was like a UB student a long time ago. Probably younger as I was working here, but I remember that happening. So that has always stuck with me. The small boat harbor, they are doing the ice fishing, so that ice most likely more than 4 inches thick.
Okay.
But Melly, I'm not going to advise anything about walking out there.
Yeah, let's not walk on it. If there's a boat stuck out
Yeah,
there,
there's a boat stuck. It's
boat's
thick.
struggling.
It's thick enough to make the ships. That freighter is stuck. But yeah. Any
Kathy
update?
says, yeah, the tractor was it a tractor trailer that got stuck this morning? There was an accident on the 190 and
That was by the
290.
290, the Packard Road one. That would be well north. No, Kathy, do not have an update on that. Nothing on NITEC came out. So I'll check and see if there's anything for that 825 cut-in we do.
Well, look, Peter says 25 degrees feels like a heat wave going out in the flip-flops. I feel we're going to see people in shorts today. I mean, after yesterday, I'm telling you, and I know I'm dramatic, but yesterday was like, I don't want to experience that ever again.
Yeah.
I walked outside and clearing the car off, like I may have had a tear that froze on my face because it was so cold. I mean, just the below zero temperatures before you add in the wind chill.
Was tough. I had to go yesterday, and if you go on our Facebook or Instagram, I had to go do a video of the lake being frozen almost, and was out there for a couple minutes. I had to park, get this shot set, see where I wanted to go. My hands were so cold and my face was so cold. I was out there for like 5 minutes or less, and I'm like, wow. We're in here telling people it's brutal outside. Then when you're out there, you're like, man, it certainly
It
is.
really is brutal. Oh gosh, yeah. Coldest air in 6 years in Western New York. And I feel like maybe ski country, maybe people are happy down there.
Oh,
but
skiers are loving it. They're making a ton of snow. Snowmobilers, they've had a tough stretch the last several years where you have these nice snowmobiles and you can't really use them
Right.
because there wasn't enough snow, but those trails are great. And there are a lot of restaurants along those snowmobile trails that really count on the business for the winter. So I'm sure they're thrilled as well. You're down across, especially in the southern tier, where they are just loving it right now.
Anita says you should get some hazard pay for your experiences from yesterday.
Yeah, thanks, Anita.
Cindy says, just got on here. Is the snowstorm, the lake effect that we saw in the cold, gone for a while?
We just got here is the snowstorm. No, we do have a winter weather advisory. I'll get that graphic up for later today for northern Erie County. That's in effect from 3 p.m. today through midnight for about 2 to 4 inches of snow. The snow coming down during the afternoon commute. So the evening commute, I should say late afternoon after around 3 or 4 p.m. We'll start to see some snow. Looks like even a burst of snow by around 5 p.m. And then the winter weather advisory for southern Erie, Wyoming, southern Erie, Chautauqua, and Cattaraugus counties. And that is in effect from 6 p.m. today to 1 p.m. on Friday for about 3 to 6 inches of snowfall.
It's just one of those winters. I think, like Ed was saying yesterday, Russ was saying, well, this is just a good old-fashioned Buffalo winter.
Yeah, I mean, it is. This is the coldest time of the year, and we're getting the cold air, and Lake Erie does tend to, ice over a bit, and now it's one of those seasons where it's going to ice over. You saw some snow across all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So
No, Pensacola's getting snow.
Yeah.
Louisiana had 10 inches.
New Orleans has right now 8 inches of snow on the ground at their airport, and we have 7. Isn't that fascinating?
If you would have told, I mean, literally a couple months ago, like, hey, this winter, New Orleans is going to have more snow than Buffalo, we would have laughed. Like,
yes,
crazy.
yes.
Peter got a question here while we're talking about New Orleans and the road to New Orleans, where the Super Bowl is. Peter, I'm going to plug my computer in here. He's saying there's something happening allegedly Kansas City around 6:30 Arrowhead Stadium. The Bills just might be playing the Chiefs in some little football game.
So Bills Chiefs looks like it's mid to upper 30s, partly sunny during the day and then partly mostly cloudy at night. Winds don't really look to be a factor. So right now looks like the weather will be fine. I mean, 30s, better than
January
right now.
Football, probably the best you can ask for.
Yeah, January football, and then you get through that, and then New Orleans, obviously the Dome, so they'll be inside for the Super Bowl. So if you are going to KC, safe travels. And we had the other Taylor out there this morning at the airport.
She was out there at the airport.
People
she
getting ready.
She didn't see anyone there yet, except for our crew, our Matt Bovee and Michael Schwartz there down there. Also tonight, at 7 o'clock, we do have a special edition of Leading the Charge. So our crew, we got Howard Simon, Joe Buscaglia, Dom, and Matt. Of course, they're going to do a special edition where Matt's going to be in Kansas City. They're just going to talk through everything we need to know. Some of us can't watch the content. I can't even look at it. Like when sports comes on, I'm like, I don't even want to watch it anymore.
I cannot wait. I am more excited about this game. I feel there's a certain just energy around the Bills that you see when teams who are going to win it all have. And that's what we have right now. And some of the little things too, like that Ty Johnson touchdown where his foot was 1 inch above, going out of bounds.
It's like a miracle season. They say in Mr. Brightside, destiny is calling me. And it just
That's our song.
It feels so good. And there's so many of those moments of those crazy catches of Josh.
The Mark Andrews drop. That usually happens to us.
Right.
Like how many things do we have?
Luck moment
and it's happening to another team and it's benefiting us. And we just now are going and I feel like, Kansas City, especially Mahomes, he's giving a lot of praise toward Josh and our team. I think they're like, all right, normally we have the swagger, but the Bills have it right now. And I love when the Bills are the underdogs. I think that just gets Josh so worked up.
It gets everybody going because, people discount Buffalo in so many kind of ways. I mean, we had the conversation last week about the city of losers. People are underestimating this team, underestimating the city. And I think Pat Mahomes, they talked about it after the last game. They have a different team this year. They have a different strategy. They kind of have to rely on a really good defense and on offense just kind of like hold up because Pat Mahomes doesn't have the same weapons as he normally
doesn't. And he's not moving around I know he hurt his ankle, but he's not moving around as much like he used to. So we'll see what happens. Bonnie, I can't wait either. We got this. Go Bills. And Mark, my biggest fear. Seriously. Just thinking about it, I get sweaty. I think my biggest fear is 3rd and 19 and we
roughing the
stop, knock him down. And then, someone like breathes on Mahomes. They're like, roughing the passer. And you're like, oh my gosh. That is you saw the Texans that really threw them for a loop.
I mean, the Texans were close and the Texans did beat the Bills earlier this season, but they're a much different team.
Yeah, that was a different time too.
But I don't know. Those moments set the Bills back. And even in the Ravens game, there were a couple of key penalties that, made it a little scary. So we just need a clean game and we just need to hope everything goes well.
I don't think the refs are going to be as quick to blow the whistle because they have been hearing about it all week. There's no way any ref could go anywhere and be like, hey, are you going to do that this week? So I'm with you.
They're hearing about it from their wives at the dinner table at this point.
They're hearing about it from everybody. If they have anybody who's ever they've known from Buffalo, calling them up going, dude, come on. Like, if you're going to make the call on them, make sure that it's legit. Those two were so weak last week.
Well, they let them play a little bit in the game here, the Bills Ravens game.
They did.
Even like some of those scuffles they were having, usually they're quick to throw a little laundry on the field, but not this time.
You're absolutely right. They did not throw the laundry quickly, and you did see some players kind of get knocked down. I think Kincaid got knocked over, and but I love our line. We have an edge. Anderson and Brown,
Dawkins.
Dawkins. He is just amazing this year. So our line is just great, and the Bills are doing what they got to do to win, and Josh was like, okay, let's do it.
I want to bring this up from Jennifer. She says, as a Ravens fan living in Bills territory, I think the Bills Mafia for donating, but hate that Mark Andrews is getting is uncalled for. So context here, if you haven't seen, Bills Mafia doing what Bills Mafia does and is donating to a charity that's close to Mark Andrews' heart. We talked about that drop, right? If they would have gotten that 2-point conversion, it would have taken the game to overtime. It was 27-25.
We had a minute 33. I don't think it's going overtime. I think we're winning.
It could have happened. But that's the play right there. Lamar Jackson tries to throw it to Mark Andrews, but he drops the ball. literally. And immediately after that, fans just absolutely raking him over the coals on social media. He was getting death threats. People were just being really, really just mean and nasty towards him. And in response to that, 2 Canisius students from here in Buffalo, they started a GoFundMe. There they are. Derek interviewed them yesterday and shared their story. And, just good-hearted fans wanting to do something for a player that's not even
what are
on
we,
the
close
team
to $80,000?
More than $92,000.
92,000. So Jennifer, the Bills Mafia does step up, and they all have great hearts. And Mark Andrews catches like every other ball and drops that one. Unfortunately,
right. He's a veteran. He's great. I mean, it's just one bad moment for him. Not going to define his career at all.
No, well, unfortunately, it's going to be on replay a lot for him. But you know what? The Bills fans did a great job with that, and so some good did come out of it.
$93,000 now. When we started the morning, it was at 91. So just in the past couple of hours, it's gotten to $2,000.
That's awesome. Congratulations. And again, that's for a great cause, and that's good.
Katie agrees. It wouldn't have gone to overtime. Josh would have marched down the field.
Thanks, Katie. I mean, everyone forgets that. Minute 33 with Josh, and Bass hit a 51-yard field goal. If they made it, I did not want to go to overtime.
No. I didn't want it to get close. I'm glad it ended where it did.
Yeah.
But if it had to go a little further, there was still plenty of room for the Bills.
I'm fully confident that is when Josh puts the cape on. We marched down the field. They had to stop us they had their timeout left, and they stopped us. They could have gotten the ball back. And Ty Johnson ripped off like a 15-yard run with no problem. And they were at the line. So I'm fully confident we would have.
Peter says what happened to Mark Andrews was what happened to Tyler Bass last year. Obviously, he missed a kick. And people started donating to the 10 Lives Club in his name.
$400,000.
There's going to be a whole building dedicated to him in Western New York now. But that's exactly what Mark Andrews is going through. So hopefully, he's somewhere seeing this. It's gotten picked up by like ESPN and Bleacher Report, obviously us. Yeah. So hopefully he's seeing this.
The Ravens tweeted out about it too. Like, thanks so much. Like the actual
and they credited Bills Mafia. They said, because this is not just usually, we know where it started from social media, but they set up a completely separate GoFundMe, and all this money is going to go to Type 1 Diabetes global organization, because Mark Andrews has Type 1 diabetes. So that's why they're doing that.
You can make it to the
NFL. You know what I mean? Can't let anything hold you back.
That's great.
Robert says nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
I know, Robert. Oh, Thursday. We're almost there. Just got to keep myself busy all day Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's the tough part. For you, having seen the playoff and the Super Bowl runs that they made in the 90s, did it feel similar to this?
It felt very. So I was in college during that Super Bowl run. The Giants game was super confident. Okay. And I still think you play that game 10 times, we win 9 of them. Mm-hmm. But Belichick had a great defensive plan, and he kept the ball out of our hands, and that's what it was. The Redskins won. They were like a good team, the Redskins. I thought we were going to win that second Dallas one. We were up 13-6 at halftime, and then ended up losing that one. So haven't had that feeling in about 30 years or so. And even as the Bills when they lost in the championship game to the Chiefs the first time 4 years ago, and then the Chiefs lost to Brady and the Bucks, I was like, I don't want to lose to Brady in the Tampa Bay. No. I just don't want to. But now this is a totally different feeling.
It's a different team too. I think before we were relying on the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, right? These are our 2 stars. We're going to back them. Of course, we have many other players, but I do love this everybody eats mentality of you never know who the Bills are going to throw the ball to. You never know how they're going to score or how they're going to make it happen.
And on defense, you don't know what's coming at you either. 'Cause last week, McDermott, they blitzed them for the most all season, and then they go to a zone, then they go to man coverage, then they're blitzing. So they're really confusing good quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, who's amazing. They stuffed Derrick Henry. The Ravens and the Broncos had the 1 and 2 rushing defenses. So we just went up against the hardest defenses and did well. Kansas City's defense is not as good as those. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Side, I was most scared of the Lions. They're out of it.
Really, I'm more scared of the Eagles. That's the one team I don't want to play.
Well, I grew up in Eagles country, and I'm not an Eagles fan.
That's right. You're not.
Cowboys fan. So I grew up a Cowboys fan. I'm a Bills fan, though. No one.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Now you are. Yeah.
Don't start throwing hate at me.
No, never.
But I do not see it for the Eagles. I mean, they played them tight. Who did they play?
The Rams.
The Rams, yeah, they play them really tight. I mean, the Rams are a good team, but they play every team really, really tight, and they have some injuries too.
They do have some injuries. Barkley, they could probably do the same thing that they did against Derrick Henry, but I worry about they have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, two receivers that have speed, and that does make me nervous. But Jalen Hurts seems to, man, he takes a beating. Well, I watched that game last week. Every time he gets, he's like, just holding on to every body part as he gets up. So you have Milano spying him. I like our chances. I think any AFC team who faces the NFC team is favored already to win the Super Bowl. So I like that. But I think I would feel much more confident going against the Redskins.
Here's a good question that you'll enjoy. What are you planning to eat for the game?
Ooh, that is a great question, James. Thank you. You know what? It might be a chicken finger sub kind of celebration day. Yeah. Because I'll have hockey in the morning and then swimming. And I get super hungry. Hit the chicken finger sub.
Boom.
Watch the 3:00 game. As I say, I got to scout the other teams. And then now, are you going to go to a gathering? Is it just you? Are they all going to are you all getting together this weekend?
Yeah, let me know what your plans are, because I feel like I don't know how many people are going to go. The tickets have gone down. If you're thinking about a last-minute trip to Kansas City, earlier in the week we looked, they were close to $350. Now they're around $250. So $100 left, $100 less. But
there will be a lot of Bills Mafia there, and you'll hear them. I mean, Kansas City isn't like going to Nashville where we take over, or Jacksonville where it's all Buffalo, red, white, blue. But you'll see a lot of people there, and I wish I could join you, but I'll be.
Weather Daddy turns into sports uncle.
Oh yeah, you know what? I do like my sports.
Robert says wings and sailins.
Ooh,
that sounds good.
Love it. That
my
sounds
friends
really
and I
good.
are doing Thirsty Buffalo on Elmwood.
Oh yeah, that's a
we
cool
watch
part.
from there. It's a good atmosphere in there. They play the shout song, when they score. So we got a table there, which is hard to get. Like we tried to go the week before, like maybe a couple days out, and we couldn't get a table. So we had to a week ahead of time.
Smart.
Call out and reserve a table. I don't know. I get too nervous to eat. Like I need to eat. We need to get there at like 5:30, so I can have a nice meal, because I don't like to eat wings during the game, because I feel like I'm like
choke on one.
Oh yeah, something's gonna happen, and so maybe we can share pizza or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know. I'll do the chicken finger sub most likely, and then put on the chicken finger sub. Mild or medium sauce. I don't like blue cheese, so none of that. Just oil. And then
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Caitlin says she's going to be working. She heard the tickets are cheaper, but flights are like $900. Yeah, flight is the expensive part because it's not a direct flight.
No.
So it's a bunch of kind of moving.
I saw people driving too. What is it, like 14, 15 hours?
I don't know. It sounds too far.
If you get some buddies, and you're like, yeah, let's go get in the car Saturday morning.
You could make a trip out of it.
Yeah. I'm talking young Aaron, like this. No, this version of Aaron, I'm not sitting for 14, 15 hours.
Is it really that far? I mean, I know it's Missouri, but let's see. From here, it is Google slow. Yeah, 14 and a half hours.
Yeah, 14 and 15.
Woo!
That includes no stops.
Yeah, that's no stopping. I'm not making that. I get tired after a 2-hour drive. So
I would probably leave Friday, go about 7 or 8 hours, stop, get and then do it the next morning.
In Indiana.
Take the train. Oh, I like that, Mark. Then you don't have to worry about anything. You can stretch out.
How long does that take, if you know? Caitlin says, miss when Thirsty Buffalo used to do country nights.
Oh.
That sounds good. I didn't even know they used to do that. Connie says, stay warm if you can, and absolutely go Bills. My dad is here with us this morning. He says Josh should get MVP.
Oh, I love when Mike chimes in.
Right?
Yeah, he should. And I think he will. But I don't think Josh cares.
I really don't think he does. He cares much more about the Super Bowl and less so about, the trophy hanging up or the accolades. But every time he talks about it, he wants to win it for the city, which is the best thing. He's just such a good guy.
He's just so awesome. We're so many people are cheering for, I'm sure if you look at the country map, who's cheering for Buffalo, everybody, except for the little part in the middle of the country.
Exactly.
Kansas City
I think most people are going to be on our side, rooting for us. I mean, people have texted me and they're like, you know what, I was going for Lamar, but now that you guys are in, I'm rooting for you. And I'm like,
yeah, I get that. And I would have been cheering for the Ravens this week too. I mean, obviously anybody but KC. So, yeah.
Paula says my cardiologist cleared me to watch the game. It's that serious.
Do you ever, when I look at my watch, because I have one of these things now, it'll tell you your stress level.
Oh yeah, I have my Oura Ring tracks it.
Oh, so mine was like off. It was past 100
yeah?
during the game last
Oh,
week.
yeah,
My
it's
heart
wild.
rate was so
Prepare
my
yourself.
cardiologist probably doesn't want to hear about that.
We're going to do a little bit of meditation. We're almost there.
Deep breaths.
It's Thursday. We're 3 days away. We got time. We're probably going to talk about it a lot more.
I would hope so.
We got one more day. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock, guys. Thanks for joining us as usual. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.